We are Amazons. We are here to save mankind.
And obviously, Superman is ready to kick some. Is ready to destroy the world. And there's Earth 2 Doomsday, and he's wreaking havoc, playing dominoes with this city. I think we're in Metropolis now. And here's this. Superman's a mass murderer. And no, you can't summon. Cyborg can't summon a sword as you fight. And there's this. And apparently we're in Gotham City now. This is how the
It gets worse by the minute. We have to get once I'm finished.
This is how Gotham City looks behind the camera. And here we are with the two Batman again.
Like you, I've planned for the day when Superman might lose control. But without help, you'll die. And the insurgency along with you.
I like this line here.
Then maybe that's my fate. We don't believe in fate.
Different philosophical thing. Free will versus fate. Sort of like coming to understanding that Batman, you gotta work together. Gotta punch yourself. You gotta punch yourself, figuratively and literally sometimes, in order to get the job done. But you have to trust others. And here's this little thing before we. Oh, excuse me. There's this thing we're playing as Mirror Match Batman at the end of Wonder Woman's thing. So we get to play Batman in play as Batman in 3 different instances. Lucky us. And obviously we're back in the Batcave. I guess Superman doesn't really care about that place anymore. And obviously this is a kind of intense fight. So if you played Mortal Kombat 9, you know that after in the middle of that story, you go back playing. A similar effect happens here with a character, where you play a chapter as them, and then for one fight, this pivotal story fight, you play as them. Just for one fight. So yep. And obviously Batman's hiding bombs. And if you can tell by my Batman, I like firing the bat projectiles, and then just going to town with the grappling hook. Oh yeah, and the counters. And most counters in fighting games, Batman's cape counter doesn't work if the attack is an air attack. So just so you know. Theme. Hopefully we can kick the crap out of Batman. There we go. Gotta love those mix-ups.
If we're done here, we're losing time. This is a mistake. You brought us here because you had faith. Faith we'd uphold the values you've given everything to defend.
There we go.
So trust us. Trust yourself. And let's end this.
Yeah, might as well finish the fight. Justice doesn't Justice has no boundaries.
I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out.
Little comedic relief there. I don't know if the Insurgency Batman is buffer, but anyway, here we go. It's the man himself. Superman. Earth 1 Superman.
Need to get started.
Getting informed.
Innocent people are dying. We'll take the
And he's ready to go, ready to save people, ready to save the day.
It'll prevent more casualties. Then Superman. Doomsday's gonna be tricky.
collateral damage.
I'll have to force that fight elsewhere. Anything else?
Get me a sandwich. Oh, you need to watch You need to watch out for that building. It's a little bit from the left in Metropolis.
Good to have you back.
And I just talked over a great line by Insurgency Batman. Yeah, I think there's moments in Superman's part of the story where you're like, oh, thank goodness Superman's here, because you spend so much time with the evil Superman. So it's nice to see it change. And obviously the heroes are fighting the supervillains in Gotham City. One last thing, and Black Adam can do that. And here's this.
That's enough, Black Adam. If Kahndaq exists here, I suggest you go home.
And I like that line there. Like Superman's like, hey, like gives Black Adam a chance to like just go home, go back to your home planet. And to counteract that, here's a Mortal Kombat minigame, Mortal Kombat-esque minigame where Black Adam is throwing cars as they drive from the street and throwing them at Superman, wherein Superman blasts the cars with people in them. So that's great. That's some sort of narrative dissonance, or whatever video game narrative term. Obviously, you need to match the buttons to hit the cars and also to get a shot at Adam. I think obviously the Superman S's, indicate like how many strikes or how many times Superman can hit. So you have 3, and obviously the bar, and I think the bar is like your progression thing. And obviously I missed one there. I think I missed another one in this playthrough. Want to zap Egyptian alien gods in the face.
There's no place for you here.
We don't even have a spare bedroom. It does take a little longer than I would like to admit, but it's probably the longest of the mini games. But it's over in a short amount. It's over in a decent amount of time. So. I also want to talk about the sound design. The sound design in this game is really great, and that was silly.
Superman modeled his government after mine. We allow no insurrection.
And obviously, here we are fighting Black Adam as Superman, and he's pretty much Superman's pretty much a standard character. All the powers are there. There is a lot.
This ends now.
Not as many intricate button presses, but there's a lot you can do as Superman, and he can power up his attacks with his character power. Fire, laser beams, get hit, toss around the opponent, which is cool. His breath, that ice breath, is part of the meter burn of his like normal super breath. So nice little incorporation. It freezes the enemy for a short time, and you can continue keeping your combo. So
My power equals yours.
No one's does.
you bested the Atom. Punch in the kneecap. So there we go. Black Adam is taken out.
Your evil must end.
Okay. And obviously, let's just freeze the guy. He's gonna be okay.
That'll hold you long enough.
Oh no. What's gonna happen to Superman? Sinestro's got him with a weird mace-looking thing.
Not so super, was he?
And the Looney Tunes thing. I like this scene a lot. He doesn't do anything to Superman. He doesn't do anything to Sinestro. He just pulls the fear yellow ring off. And then there's this little exchange.
Here's your chance to do what's right. I would take it.
Instead of being forceful, the Superman's just acting like Superman. Just like, do the right thing, Mr. Jordan. And here we are. Excuse back in Metropolis, Aquaman apparently signed that treaty with the regime, and he's now attacking insurgency forces. And here's Superman carrying a lot of water. I think Aquaman fans would get a lot out of this game series. So yeah.
Ready, Superman, to take on the might
And here's
of
this.
Atlantis?
Here's this line.
Yes, we are.
The Amazons are here. And there's this sound clip from Wonder Woman in a second. 200 style shield blocks. Interesting stuff. Really up the ante since Mortal Kombat 9. And here we have our Aquaman and Superman.
You're not wanted here.
And the scenery changes to the Metropolis stage, even though they were in a completely different street. So I think I think this is the point where, for me, on like the regular difficulty, the story mode gets a little bit hard. I think I die a few times here, but we'll just see what happens. And obviously, the meter burn versions of the special moves largely like affect it. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they do more damage, sometimes they have a completely different element. Yeah, and with Superman especially, and I think this holds true in the second game. I've not played it yet at the time of this recording, but you can just keep pressing triangle, triangle over and over, forward triangle and triangle, and just wail on people, wail on your opponent. So, and I don't know if I mentioned and also you can combo the end of that 1-2 punch that I was just talking about with the ice breath.
This ends now.
So yep, 2 versions of the I-beams, and also Superman can dash in the air, which is cool. I know some Marvel versus games like Tatsunoko versus Capcom and Marvel versus Capcom allow some characters to air dash, especially in the latter. But really, hopefully I do the right thing. Yes, I did. I did the thing. I also like Aquaman's water shield very much.
But I'm clearly needed.
Yep. There we go. Superman just Our leader is dead. Retreat.
Superman, we've broken their ranks. They're retreating.
Good. Once they're pushed back, we'll need help with rescue and recovery.
I'll break off a legion as quickly as possible.
Thanks, Diana. You always make it look easy.
Let's get through this first. Then tell me how easy it looked.
We'll need to
I like that, but Superman's a nice guy. Superman's tolerant. Not tolerant of being punched in the face, though. By evil starfish. Gray starfish creatures. Was he gonna eat Superman's face or bite him? I don't know. But obviously Superman's not holding back on Doomsday. And I think this upcoming fight is the only time you fight Doomsday in the story mode. So. Obviously get him away from a populated area. So. Same year as Man of Steel, but anyway, a little bit smarter. Go to the Fortress of Solitude up in the North Pole. Excuse me, Arctic Circle. Here we are. Back at home base.
Then you'll live disappointed.
And what's odd, we're fighting Doomsday of like the imprisoned Earth, but you can see the Doomsday of the original, like in the beginning, in the background here. How did he get there? Just reusing assets. Superman, Doomsday does have 2 additional costumes, so I don't know how that is, but or if you're mirror matching Doomsday, if he's even in the background, but we'll see. Obviously, the Fortress of Solitude has all these little nifty, knick-knacky things. The Pocket City of Pandor, Supergirl's play it. Pod, that's the rocket ship that Superman came to Earth in. He just threw away. That was a priceless antique. And other Superman ephemera like the Phantom Zone, you can see in the background. And there's another segment of this the stage that we're gonna get to eventually, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully I can smack. Oh man, but Superman's a fun character to use. He's cool combos. Can not do that. And to talk about Doomsday, he's an okay character. I think of all the big bruising characters, like of Bane, Doomsday, and Solomon Grundy. Grundy's probably my favorite character out of this game. Out of those three, excuse me. So, I mean, it's just hard to remember his movesets, the button combinations, and stuff.
Doomsday's not today.
And there we go. He's gonna send Doomsday to the Phantom Zone.
I knew they'd pull you over eventually.
Oh
You
no.
don't belong here. My obligations don't end at the borders of my dimension.
There we go.
I am this world's savior. I protect it. That's what's happening out there?
Two extremes.
Action, disobedient
I'll let this play.
Punished children. We're not gods. We don't decide who lives and who dies.
Decision is mine. It became mine when Joker turned me into a weapon of mass destruction.
I know what you lost.
And you judge me?
After I've killed you, I'll bring Lois here. When she sees how I've perfected this world, she'll be afraid and disgusted.
She'll be alive.
Lois's death doesn't
He stole her from me.
You stole this planet's freedom. It's time to give it back.
And here's the final boss of the story mode, fighting Regime Superman as Superman. Man. And boy, what can I say about Regime Superman? He's kind of tricky. I think a lot of NetherRealm Studios, like throughout like the 90s, ever since the first Mortal Kombat and all the Mortal Kombat titles, and just like they make the super boss, the final boss fight, kind of hard, make him like
Quit while you can.
more resistant to damage, a little bit more trickier to do, which I understand, but I can't remember if I cheaply die in this playthrough, because I know in the Mortal Kombat 9, the final boss is just like, just have to spam projectiles, and that's the only way to beat Shao Kahn. And, spam attacks in both instances where you fight him in Mortal Kombat 9. But I don't think this fight is as spammy. This, you know.
This ends now.
But I don't think you have to spam projectiles, spam the specific attack in order to beat Superman. But obviously, first loss, and this is what happens when you lose. If we haven't covered it before,
It's time to give it back.
just go back to the beginning and try again. So that's all you can do, if you want. Little air ballet there, and I really like the crouching medium attack. It's an uppercut most of the time, and it's just a fun little thing to do. Get your opponent, easy way to get your opponent in the air, aside from either bounce attack or other attacks. Just have to really, to be good at fighting games, you just have to really know every advantage and just play it calculatively, in a calculating way. So. Oh, once on these background attacks, once the character enters the foreground, you can't attack. You can't attack him again. So. I think with some video game bosses, fighting game bosses, you just have to be really aggressive with them, like I am with Superman here. And hopefully we get to see Superman's super. Here it is. Punches your opponent into space. Sends them rocketing back down. Hopefully I do best. The man of dictator. Hitler man. Super Hitler. There we go.
Your reign is over.
Yep. And our boy Superman suppresses the evil Superman. Not as extreme as the climax in Man of Steel, but just as effective, if not more. So
You won't terrorize these people any longer. Fear is the only thing these people understand. One day, you'll learn.
I don't know if that's ever going to be followed up upon, but there you go. Obviously we have big players here ready to dish out justice.
You'll have to kill me. No, not even you. There's been enough killing.
And there we go. Here's our little epilogue here. Rounding up the supervillains in Gotham City, apparently. I love this music bit here, so I'll let everybody talk. But you can see everything resolves itself.
Superman's accomplices have been rounded up or turned themselves in. The next job is restoring civil order.
The transitional government has its hands full. We're here if they need help.
Thanks, but no. The people need to know they're in control, not us.
So you haven't changed your mind?
I respect the president's offer, but I don't belong in government. None of us do.
You think Batman has a future here?
Crime and corruption will return. Ollie would have called me a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
And you're Superman?
He'll stand trial. They all will.
He was right, you know.
About what?
Put in the same position, I might have done the same thing.
Hmm.
We never know what we're truly capable of.
I hope for your world's sake you never find out. Just keep this in mind.
Yeah?
If something ever happens and you do lose it, I'm coming for you.
You'll have to get in line.
The music in this game could be a little bit better, but it's serviceable. I don't think it's as memorable as people think. And here's the evil Superman in his Magneto-esque prison. Red suns all around, so can't hurt people. Can't get out. Here's your teaser. There you go. And here's the finally, right? Here's the credit sequence for the PlayStation 4 version. it was ported by a different developer other than NetherRealm Studios. So this is the people in charge of the port who are commissioned to do the port. So after that, it's only like a few seconds, about a minute, and then we'll get to the actual developers. But wow, a lot to again, a lot to unpack in like the last third. But yeah, I think you can understand why it's subtitled Gods Among Us, even though I don't really think that's not something I would title my piece of superhero fiction. Yeah, that it's all in the main concept. Like, what if our greatest superheroes became evil? So different warring philosophies there, you know, like even at the end, like Superman, Batman, these two, between the liberal and the conservative, you know, Western hero. I have a whole video. I should do a video explaining that, but you can check out my Captain America video, Captain America Civil War video for more of that. And obviously we have the different models of the cast. I think as the DLC costumes released, they were added to this ending sequence in the original, because I was playing a different version of the game. But I think before all the DLC, they were all like the same, like just the base model. This song, you're not gonna hear this song due to copyright. I'm gonna take it out, but I will put what the song is, so maybe you can listen, know what it is. It's actually an interesting song. I like it. Very mellow, very chill, very appropriate for the game's theme. I don't know if he's like a Chicago-based musician, but there we go. And obviously, a lot of talented people worked on this game, were involved in all assets and all aspect of the production. And now I guess is a perfect time to explain like why. Excuse me. Probably it's a good time to explain why I think this is really a good piece of superhero fiction. A good piece of superhero fiction, excuse me. I think it uses the DC Comics license very well. It does have a great story mode that does like explore like a version of these characters, namely Superman and Batman. Sort of puts them in a similar but different sort of gone evil story, dictator story. So yeah, Superman was originally intended as like a guy, like a world conqueror, way back in 1938, before he rolled onto the scene in Action Comics #1. I think I like that it feels similar to Mortal Kombat, but not really. I think it's sort of like comparing Marvel versus Marvel superheroes to like Street Fighter 2. You can see little remnants of like who developed it with the little mechanics and how it feels and stuff, but it feels different enough to be a different game. And there's a lot of different and there are plenty of character moments I really, really do enjoy, even though it's an alternate universe story, essentially. But it's pretty good. I recommend that you play it if you have the chance, or maybe have like one of your friends or maybe like nephew play through it while you watch, because I really do enjoy this game a lot. It's probably one of my favorite of like the last favorite games from like the last 10 years. Definitely one of my favorite DC Comics games, and one of my favorite games, just period. So yep. they really put a lot of effort into the story mode and a lot into the idea and just beyond the the idea of like, let's have a canonical sort of like reasonable reason as to why we have these superheroes fighting. Yeah. The reason I felt like doing this commentary was with like U.S. politics now. I think now would be an appropriate time just to like get this a little bit more of an exposure of like a fascist government in fiction, just to do. Obviously, with how U.S. politics are going nowadays, I don't know where it's gonna go, but hopefully you'll still be, there's the song. You'll still be looking at this YouTube video, and you'll be wondering like, huh? But hopefully you're watching this at a fun time at a fun, peaceful time, instead of like, we should have listened or something. I don't know. Just that was the inspiration for me wanting to do this commentary. Also, just wanted to help people out. So with it, and there we go. Thanks for watching the commentary. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.